Hey, what is up, everyone? It's Rich. All right, welcome to Super Fun Sunday. This is the book that we're doing today, The Fantastic Art of Beksinski. I've had this book for a long time. A huge fan of his work. H.R. Giger, sort of my fascination with him, uh, helped me discover this artist's work. Actually, quite a long time ago now. And this book is rare and very expensive. So it's one of those things where if you like this, it will be slightly challenging, I believe, to get. Surprised me, I didn't realize it. But anyway, I'll take the dust jacket off in one sec. So updates really quick. I am working on part of the Blaster Kid saga right now, and it's called Denizen. Denizen is going to be a near daily upload to Instagram, and pretty much my only focus on Instagram moving forward. As I'm working on Blaster Kid, what I'm doing is it takes place in the same world as Blaster Kid, but it's just told from a different group of characters point of view, and it's done in its own unique style. So check it out. I'm actually really, really proud of it, and it's different and it's really cool. It's the people that have seen it have been comparing it to I've gotten like Batman animated series. They say that it reminds them of Saturday morning cartoons. It's not intentional. I'm kind of going for like a early 80s Kevin Nolan kind of look with some splatter and like sort of the J. Lee Namor kind of look. So if you like that art, definitely check it out and go along with the ride. It's going to be really fun. And Blaster Kid, I'm going to launch the first Indiegogo will be for Blaster Kid, and that will be right after Comic-Con, so like late July. And then once I finish that, I should have enough Denizen where I can actually do that as an Indiegogo as well. So both of those will be books, but you'll be able to really follow Denizen kind of in real time. What I'll do is for the final product, I'll actually do more. So, all right, let's get to this. They actually did a documentary, I believe. Or no, that's a different artist. I was gonna say I think that there's a documentary. You can find interviews and stuff with Beksinski. Sadly, he was actually murdered by his son's friend. He was in his probably 60s, and his son had a friend that was crazy and ended up going to his studio and murdering him. It's very, very sad. But hold on one sec. I'm going to pause this and take off the dust jacket. Okay, I'm going to get into the book. So, yeah, this is real dark art. It's quite detailed. His original earlier work was mostly painted. And as he got older, he started messing more with digital media. I don't think that there's much digital media in this book, but these look like little maybe studies or something like that. But yeah, the stuff is really wild. It's very, very cool. If shoot, I'm never gonna remember the guy's name. He did a book. I think it was the 9 Layers. Oh, Wayne Barlow. Wayne Barlow, if you know who that is pretty influenced by Beksinski's work. So this is just a warm up. Oh, I'm supposed to say it's super fun. It's been a while. Like I said, there's going to be way less YouTube videos because I'm so busy and doing as much work as I am right now. Then also having to ink a page a day is really quite time consuming. So yeah, YouTube is for right now going to be probably just one day a week. But it's only because I'm working. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no disinterest in it, but there's only so much time in the day. So but yeah, follow me on Instagram. That would be the best. And honestly, Patreon would be even better. And the reason being is that I'm sure that's beautiful. I'm showing the progress, works in progress of the stuff. So in as soon as I get the drawings done, I usually will upload them, and then I'm showing how I flat the pieces and then color them, and I even let people sort of vote on their favorite versions of things as I do different iterations of the colors and stuff. So it's been really fun and interactive, and for $1 you can get in, and not only that, but there's over 200 posts, over 80 videos that are unlisted and private for Patreon. It's well worth it. I actually had a really nice note from someone the other day. complimenting me on how fun my Patreon was. This is cool. So even though I'm not on YouTube, I do have a commitment to that. Oh yeah, this piece is great. So yeah, sorry, there's a ton of glare on my phone, so I can't see if picture is clear. I first found his work online, and man, I was just blown away. I was like, man, this guy is crazy. And then comes the, like, you try to figure out, like, well, where's this guy from? Like, what inspires such crazy imagery? I'm going to try to get my light maybe a little bit away from it so it's not so, like, casting a huge glare on it. I like the videos more when I shoot the book, like film it like this. One, it's way faster to upload it to YouTube for me because I don't have to process the video or do any of that stuff. But the downside is these books, a lot of them have such shiny paper. It creates all the glare. This is great too. The atmosphere this guy creates. Yeah, just one last thing, just to be clear, because I had like three stop and goes starting this video. Is Denizen and Blaster Kid have totally different art styles too, by the way, just so that you know. So the early '80s look that Denizen has is not how I'm drawing Blaster Kid. So I've been really into a lot of the like vaporwave and cyberpunk stuff for a while, a few years, and these really crazy colors, and it's super saturated, and I really like that look, and it's like, it doesn't really work for everything, but I wanted to play in that sandbox. So again, Denizen is an opportunity for me, one, to tell a really important part of the Blaster Kid story, and then two, to do a pen and ink style that I've always wanted to do, and then also coloring style. So yeah, Hellboy, Kevin Nolan, and Jay Lee mixed with whatever I do would be kind of what it's looking like to me. So it's gonna be cool, man. I'm excited to actually draw the panel today. It's gonna be fun, and I'll have little like sort of captions, so there'll be like a little bit of dialogue for each post. I didn't post it this morning because I thought people would get confused, but I'll put it on the art so that when people go back and look, that they'll have the dialogue of the story too going. Yeah, this is great. So I see sometimes like a little bit of Goya and Rembrandt in this stuff too. I mean, he's obviously got a lot of different styles, but yeah, the sense of space and stuff that he uses reminds me of Goya at times. But this guy's very influential. I mean, Pascal Blanche, or I don't know how you would pronounce his last name. Is definitely influenced by this guy. Among others. I mean, he's definitely got a lot of Mobius in his stuff, but I mean, even this color palette on this piece, I mean, you could definitely, if you're familiar with his work, it's similar. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Hopefully they'll do another book of this guy's stuff at some point. You know, like a real nice collection, but it might be one of those things that is just kind of dead in the water. You can find decent sized scans of his stuff online, though. Honestly, like, I don't think that there's anything in this book that you can't find online, and maybe not high res, but pretty good sizes. I forgot that I had this book. I have so many books, and a lot of them kind of rotate in and out of my office. Because again, the whole concept behind Super Fun Sunday was I never look at any of my art books because I never have time, and so this was a good excuse to pull this stuff out and like check it out. But I wasn't 100% sure I even had this book. I thought that I did, but I wasn't sure. Even books that I love come in and out of my studio, because I have two huge bookshelves and then a third one, but generally it's just based on my sort of current interests at the time, and I sort of rotate stuff in and out. So if all of a sudden I decide that like I need to look at Jack Kirby, then I'm like, oh man, where are my Jack Kirby books, or whatever it is, you know, Joe Madureira, Jim Lee, Capullo, Mignola, Kent Williams. There's so many good artists. That's the thing. Well, and then I even go for like where like I'll be like, fuck, oh, I'm gonna only have fine art books in my office, and then you bring in the John Singer Sargent and the Nikolai Fechin and the Rembrandt books and Mucha and Maxfield Parrish, and I love it all. That's the thing. I was explaining to a friend actually this morning. I was saying that like what's really really interesting, and this is an important thing to maybe even take away from this video, is what you consume as a viewer, especially as an artist in particular, will eventually come out of you. And I find that I'm able to sort of like pull from a pretty big library of stuff, and it's not like I don't like specifically go like, I want to draw this like Adam Hughes, but what ends up happening is your problem solving is based on correct things that you've seen or things that you have seen that look good. And they come out in different ways. You know, like if you have to render an arm, all of a sudden you just go, oh, I know how to render an arm. And you don't even realize that it's like, it's a very abstract and maybe blurred version of something that you've seen done well. So it's a pretty interesting thing, but, yeah, so be mindful of what you actually look at and really focus on, because the more good stuff that you see, the more good stuff will come out of you. That's crazy. Yeah. But yeah, if you've seen the Wayne Barlow, I think it's Dante's Inferno, but it might be like the Nine Planes of Hell. Barlow definitely was heavily influenced by this, and I would recommend that book. It's great. But yeah, for me, Giger got all of this stuff going for me. You know, I had seen the Alien movie as a kid, and then in high school, I met this kid who drew, and although I was like not really seriously drawing at the time, he had a real passion for drawing, and he was really fantastic, a really great artist. And we became friends, and I immediately started drawing when I started hanging out with him. And he had the Necronomicon book, and he was a big fan of like Kent Williams and all this stuff. And we're like 15, 16 years old. And man, he showed me that Giger Necronomicon book, and I was just sold. I was like, oh my God. He had the Kent Williams Blood comics too, and it kind of has this color palette. It's very like kind of I don't know, like coppery and sort of like mustard fog looking colors. And man, I was just like, whoa. So that really had a big impact on me, and you know, at the same time, though, I was like the cartoons. So I'm coming at it from like a Scooby-Doo meets Rembrandt and everything in between. Those are my influences, actually. It's sadly true. Or not sadly, but funny enough, it actually is. That would not be an incorrect statement, but in the least. Because I love the painted backgrounds in Scooby-Doo, especially the old 70s ones are so cool. And that kind of has a bit of a Kevin Nolan feel. And then that flat animation coloring style. But yeah, if you've ever seen like the Marvel Comics Presents and Wolverine covers that Kevin Nolan did, I love that stuff. Oh, this is such a great piece. But yeah, you'll see concept artists and a lot of like European artists still pretty heavily influenced by this guy. It's pretty obvious when they are. There's a contemporary artist that works that is pretty much doing this kind of exact thing, and he's really good. I have no idea what his name is though, but. I used to follow him somewhere. I can't even remember if it was before ArtStation, but man, I have no idea. That's the problem I think nowadays with the amount of artists that we're all like it's really snowballed. Like 10 years ago, you had a lot of art online, but there's like a freaking sorry, there's like a gnat flew in or something and was like flying over the book. Yeah, you had access to a lot of stuff, but it definitely blew up over the last 10 years. All of a sudden, I think it really snowballed and sort of hit like kind of a terminal velocity, and I mean, you almost just give up like trying to remember everyone's name. It's like, oh yeah, like when this person posts on Instagram. There's a people will know exactly what I'm talking about. I have no idea what his name is. I've been following him online for a while, but he's doing that stork that like it's kind of like this Phil Hale digitally painted thing. His stuff is super creepy. He's really really good, and he's getting better. It was like he was pretty good like a year ago, but he's had a huge growth spurt in like the last year, and his stuff like he's really figured out like what he's doing. I'll try to find. I'll chew Beck something, I think is the name. The problem too is and clearly brand yourself online. Like use one name because he. I think he's one of those artists that like on Instagram he's got one name, on ArtStation he's got another name. His name isn't even that name, and it's like it gets very confusing, and you don't want people to lose track of your work. So there's another little gem is try to keep your I hate to use the word branding, but keep that consistent, because if you don't, you don't want to lose people along the way. And again, a good example would be the artist that I'm thinking of that is kind of inspired by this. I can't think of their name, but I don't think I ever knew it. That's the problem. Is, you know what I mean? You see their work and you go, man, this is great. But then, the next morning you see 25 other great artists. Okay, we're getting to the end of this book. I hope that was fun. It's actually not a very long, super fun Sunday, which is good because I need to get drawing. But yeah, smash the like, hit the notification bell. Oh, this is really cool. And hopefully you're all drawing. I know I have a lot of drawlers that follow the channel. And oh yes, this is some of the digital stuff. I think if they have his website still up, you can see some of the stuff that he did in the last like 5 or 10 years of his life. But these would be more interesting to me if they were actually painted. But the ideas are cool. But this is 1998 Photoshop, and all right. Well, rest in peace, Beksinski. You were a great artist, and you definitely influenced a lot of people and won't be forgotten. So, all right. You all have a great day, and I will talk to you later. Bye.